Welcome. Today I'm going to be showing you the three main ways you can test your mercury, or physical ways you can test your mercury. I get this question all the time. People ask me, how can you know this mercury is real or not? How can you know if this mercury is real or not? How can you know if this substance you're having is mercury? Yes. Truth is that although the physical tests cannot confirm it entirely, but there are a few things that we know with the physical properties of mercury that makes it stand out from every other element. First of all, of course, everybody knows that mercury is a liquid metal. So it's a metal and it's liquid at room temperature, and even below room temperature is still liquid. So, but there are some substances like gallium that if you place in your palm and the temperature comes up to say 30 degrees or thereabouts, it will turn into shiny liquids. And then some people also say, what if something is mixed or something and then just given us? Yeah, I have lots of things like that, or heard of people talking like that too, and I think all boils down to the same thing I said. They are not usually chemists themselves, so they can't really test these substances and know them that they are mercury or not. Then for science purpose too, educational purpose, I'm just going to give this test. There are just three of them, and these three tests, I believe only mercury will satisfy these criteria to a very big extent. These are the materials we're going to use. This is one compound of mercury. It's a red one and a powdered one. This is another compound of mercury. It's also a red one and a powdered one. There's a beaker here. This is a rod. This aluminum rod. There's a weighing balance electric bulb. And this is mercury. Okay, all other ones should shift away. These ones are not. So just focus your attention around here. Okay. Now, this table, you can see these patches here. It's not part of the something, but it's part of it. It's the gum, the adhesive we formulated some days back, yesterday, and it's peeled, so it got stuck to the leather covering this table. I've been trying to clean it up. You can see that the surface is wet. If you look at it very well, I'm trying to clean it up, but it's not cleaning as such. Yeah, I've used water and soap and many things to react with it to see if it's gonna clean up, or it's not cleaning up. Now, in as much as this is looking this dirty and I'm not enjoying it, but I don't like my tables looking like this. But it gives a clear insight that the adhesive we formulated is a very strong one, and so it can also be very, very water resistant and also chemical resistant to a big extent. I think the only chemical that can wash this thing off now is chiefly the solvents we used in making the adhesives. But even that solvent may also dissolve this leather coating of this table. Okay, let's go to the business of the day. Sorry about that. First of all, let's title this. Okay, let's title this our paper. Say three. Okay, let me use here. 3 physical ways of testing mercury. Okay, so 3 physical ways of testing mercury. Number 1, we are going to conduct the density tests. Density tests. Everybody who has been in science class knows that everyone who has been in science class knows that the density of mercury is 13.6 gram per cm cube. 13.6 grams per cm cube. That's to say that if you get a cm cube of mercury, it is going to weigh 13.6 grams. Okay, in sciences we don't always give a definite action or definite values like that, so we say plus or minus 2 or plus or minus 0.2 depending on which author gives his own standard. 0.2 depending on which error you are calculating, so to say. We often give that error because of the measurement things you are using, kind of errors and things like that may always occur. But the density of mercury is 13.6 or thereabout. So you can use a physical density to test if what you have is mercury. Mercury is the only, density, although it appears a physical test, but it's not really a physical thing because it's intrinsic. Everything has its certain unique density, every element on Earth. And there are no two elements that have the same density. They may be close but not exactly the same. So you usually use this density also relates to the pressure. Of course, you know that density is equals to mass over unit volume. So here, hope you are seeing my board very well. Just manage it the way it is now, okay? I actually didn't intend to use this class as a big class, so I'm not using whiteboard, I'm just using this. But you can follow this up, and if you can't, don't worry, I'll make other marks for it. So mass over unit volume, where our mass is in gram. If your mass is in grams, then you have to have your volume in cm cube or in mils. And if your mass is in kilogram, where your mass is in kilogram, that is kg, you have your volume in dm cube or liter. Either dm cube or liter is the same thing. Yeah, if you are in our family, we'll call it dm cube. That's decimeter cube. If you are in other family, the out family, the word family where they call themselves laymen, they say it's liters. So it's the same thing, okay? Now we have our beaker calibrated to 100 ml. This is 20, 40, 60, 80. So the first test you are going to run is you're going to take a certain amount of mercury and then weigh it and then make the calculation and see if it actually is exactly to the density. The density of mercury, standard density, is 13.6 gram, right? So let's see if we can get this density from measuring out a certain amount of mercury. So we're going to measure our empty beaker. We're having 40.8, okay? 40.8, 40.9, 41, around there, right? Good. So we are taking note of that. We take note of that down. Volume, mass, I mean to say, mass of beaker is equals to 40.8, right? The volume of the mercury will be taking note of too. Volume of mercury is still unknown here, but we are going to use 20 mil. So let's just put 20 mil. It's not unknown here, it's 20 mil. I don't want to ask you to go and find X. Your X can be doing whatever she's doing, whatever she is, or he's doing whatever he's doing. So now we already have this mass of this to be 40.8. Let's take the mass of mercury itself. So the mass of mercury and container, mass of mercury and container, mil. get to 20 mil, we'll stop. Now is at 20 mil, right? 20 mil is the dark, is the mark below. So this is 20 mil. Remember, there is always an error because you cannot ascertain if my hand is really horizontally inclined or if it's tilting anywhere. There is no, what do you call this? There is no plumb to plumb my hand and plumb what I'm carrying, okay? So we are just estimating that this is 20 mil. That is it there. And this is why I told you earlier that the measurement is not always exact. You say it is plus or minus. I'm doing this because if I keep it on the table itself is not plumbed either. If I keep it there, you may not be seeing what I'm doing. So, okay, let's just say it. You can see the mass of this thing. Total mass is reading between 275, 273, 275, 274, 274.6. This digital distance is not very accurate or very static. It's just shaking along with the vibration of the mercury. Let me keep it on this thing and then record whatever I'm saying there. Now, this kind of irregularities often occur with this kind of scale. So this is why we don't always take our measurement to be exact. We just say it's estimated as that or in that, plus or minus that, okay? To cater for all these kind of errors we are seeing here. I like it like this because it shows you how inaccurate most of these things can be. So now we've seen the weight of that's the mass of the mercury, and then the mass of the container, the mass of both mercury and container. So if we want to get the exact mass of the mercury now, we have to subtract the mass of the container from the mass of the mercury. Of course, you should know that. So if we do that, we are going to have mass of mercury will be equals to mass of container minus mass of container plus mercury minus mass of container. All right, so there you have that to be equal to 356.6 gram, which is the total mass of both container and mercury, minus mass of mercury, which is mass of bigger, which is 40.8. So if you subtract this, you'll be having the mass of mercury itself will be 356.6 gram minus 40.8. 356.6 gram minus 40.8. We'll be having something like 315 and okay. Yes, only 1.8. Now that is the mass of the mercury. Now bear this in mind, like I said before, that this measuring scale, of course you saw it, it's not very accurate. So you may not have accurate numbers, you just have random numbers or numbers. So that's why we always say we have plus or minus 2. Okay? It is either plus 2 to the right or plus or minus 2 to the left because of all this error. Now, after that, or you can even use analog, whatever, if you have analog scale, you can use analog scale to measure it out. So after that, we go to the volume of the mercury inside. The volume of mercury inside from what we have here is 20 mil, okay? 20 mil. So if we have 20 mil, volume is 20 mil. Now, remember that our density is equals to mass all over volume. Okay? So we want to know the density of this unknown substance to know if it's actually mercury. I want to say that the density of mercury from previous tests people have done and things they've seen or with machines and everything is 13.6 grams. So if you want to know, simply like measure this one out. You took 20 mil of it. You measure the weight, and the weight is or the mass is 315.8 grams, and then the volume is only 20 grams. So to know the density now, you just divide this mass you got by this 20 mil volume, which is 315.8 all over 20. Now if you're dividing this, it should give you something around, okay, it should give you something around 15 point, okay, it should be 15.7 or thereabouts, 15.6, 15.7 or thereabouts. Now you can see it. What we have as mercury standard distance is 13.6 plus or minus 2. If you add that 2, that is plus 2 now, it should be 15 point something. We are getting 15 point something here. Okay, so we believe that any other error you are having is as a result of the measuring scale we used. But since you're getting 15 point something, which is around the range 13.6 plus or minus 2, then what you have here must be mercury. It's only it that can give you that kind of density. That's number one test. Now we are going to try the second test. I'll drop this one. I'll try the second test. The second test will use aluminum rod. It is always known that mercury forms amalgam with aluminum. It's a very fast reaction. Although it always does it in a very, it does it when there is a very little mercury. The reaction is always faster. I don't know how to step it up, but let me try using this to do it or show you. If you drop it here, if there is a contact from the mercury and the aluminum, the amalgam will start to form instantly. If there is a contact, the amalgam will form something like flowers. See? Beautiful. It's already forming here. I don't know if this camera can capture it, but it's tiny. The reaction is not fast. Let me use the powder one and show you. We also tried with the powder one. This is a powder mercury containing element too. So if you have a red pigment, or you order the red powder that you are expecting to contain mercury, this is the simplest test you can run with it. It's that simple. This is the aluminum rod. You take your powder or what you suspect to be mercury, just rub it on it and wait. Rub it on it and wait. Oh, the other one is already forming and forming a green something. Now as you rub it and wait, you will notice it forming something like a flower. Form something like a flower. See, it's already sweating. Wait, let me drop it here, so, and then move this camera close to it so you see what I am doing, because from this distance you will not see it very clearly. Good. Let me move this camera close to it. Then you see what we are talking about. It's something like hairs growing around the aluminum rod, just around the shadow part. That is actually the amalgam of mercury and aluminum forming up. By the time I finish, you can see it is still growing fast. It's growing out. The reaction is almost instant, but you will need that to speed it up. Be patient to see it all. Or as you're watching it, you'll just be seeing it. They are just forming. The amalgam is still forming. You can see it. You can see the hairs forming, coming out. You can see it, and then you can see something like a wet, something bubbling somewhere. You are seeing it too. Good. You can see that it's increasing. Now, that's number 2 test. Before I finish number 3 test, you'll see how this hair would have grown big and how this mercury may have been, it has eaten up this aluminium to form this amalgam I'm talking about. You can see it will be more pronounced by the time the 3rd test is completed. You can see it's already growing hair. You can see the aluminium growing hair all over your body. I don't want to touch this thing because that thing is flaking. If I touch it, it will just fall off. So I just leave it like that and continue recording. So the 3rd test we are going to run is a conduction test. We use this bulb, then we'll use the mercury measured out before and then test it out. You see? You can see that? Are you watching it? You see it? Uh-oh, I'm distorting this other one. The reaction is, you can see the reaction is ongoing there. So you see this, you just dip it in. You see that? Take it out, it goes off. Dip it in. Only mercury can behave like this. So if I carry it up to you, you'll see. So these are the tests for mercury, the 3 physical tests you can use to know if what you're having is mercury or not. If it's not, it won't pass this test. If it is, it will pass this test. Okay? And that will be the end of the video for today. So if you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our YouTube channel, share with your friends and people who are your friends who are looking for mercury too, so they will know that okay, this is mercury, and then they will know how to test it so they don't get scammed. There are lots of scammers around carrying everything they see and tell you what they have is mercury even when it is not. But with these simple tests, you can know if what you are buying is mercury or not. Okay? So please subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's the only way you can support us, like I always tell you. These things you see here are not easy to get by. And even in America and some places, these things are banned and we just have to get it because it's educational purpose, and then we're getting it for educational purpose. But even at that, it's not cheap. It's not easy to come by. So please support us by subscribing to our YouTube channel and then turn on the notification bell, so each time we post a video, you'll be notified of it and you know that yes, we have a new video. If you don't like these videos, like I always say, please comment, tell us the kind of video you want us to make. We'll make it for you.